Good evening, everyone, and happy Onam wishes to you all. And today, we all across the world, all Malayalis are celebrating Onam, and we have a special reason to join with you in the evening. And we have joined with a very eminent personality in the field of culture, tradition, and museum. And he has been serving with the government of India, and he was chairing or heading the National History Museum. And then he was chairing the Indian Museum, and then taking the various roles in the field of culture and tradition. And while he was chairing those institutions, he has taken an extensive steps to uh, impart or involve the larger community in the process of safeguarding our tradition and culture. One of the very eminent personality in India who took India beyond India and largely discussed with the larger crowd across the globe related to museum culture tradition. And he is one of the expert in the field of intangible heritage. As you all know, UNESCO has been declared intangible heritage as a valid area which the focus should be shifted slowly. And towards that, India has taken many steps, and we are not lacking. Kerala is also in the forefront for that kind of activities. After retirement, Venu sir came back to Kerala, and he is involved with Sri Shankara University, started an institution. I think that is one of the first university center for very serious studies about intangible heritage. And he's directing that institution, the Center for Intangible Heritage Studies at Sri Shankara University, and involved in various activities. And Wiley has been associated with him for last 5 years. And coming back to this evening, and starting from today, and almost all the Fridays or Saturdays, we'll be having regular discussions related to culture tradition as part of the Nila International Folklore Film Festival 2021. And we have started NIFI last year. It was a great success. And we are thank you everyone, each and everyone who contributed to that festival. It was a great success in terms of participation from filmmakers, in terms of participation from the film fraternity, people who love films, people who love culture, tradition, and folklore. And the energy you all put across to us, and with all this energy, we are taking it forward. And this year, 2021, we are kickstarting with a lot of new films and with a lot of energy. So this is a first discussion in that series. And with all your support, we are moving forward with NIFI 2021. And sir, warm welcome to the show. And thank you so much for finding time to join with us in the festive time. I know we're all busy with the family for the Onam season. And once again, thank you so much for joining with us. And we wish to know, sir, I know in your across your career, you have been involved in the cultural space as an academician, as an government employee who was part of the entire process. So, how was your experience in taking up and understanding the cultural landscape of India and Kerala, and where are we heading to? So we wish to hear from you. Warm welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Vinod, and happy Onam wishes to all the people who are attending here from our side. And throughout my career of around is answering to your question of how the government looks into the aspects of culture. Normally in India, the culture sector is, you can say, taken up by some, in every ministry, there is a nodal ministry. That is the usually procedure, whether it's states or central. And centrally, many times it fluctuates between a department of culture or ministry of culture, or sometimes it adds with the tourism, that type of things. Now it is added with culture, tourism, and sometimes Northeast, because Northeast may be of appeal to this time. It happened that the culture minister, the same union minister in central government, happens to look after the Northeast as well. That may be probably a recognition to the importance of culture. But my experience is that one, because when you think of culture, and we have to go beyond culture into heritage. Because if you think of a international presence, it is basically UNESCO. It is not culture alone. Heritage is the angle where culture is brought under with that. So I always look into culture as part of heritage. Then the shift will be slightly unconventional. That happens because my basic work was in the natural heritage aspects, nature aspects of being a scientist with the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Culture. You must understand that culture and heritage, where the most visible thing is World Heritage Site type of things. So in Indian context, the two ministries concerned with this heritage angle are the Ministry of Environment, Forest. Now it is called Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, as well as the Ministry of Culture. The World Heritage structure related to monuments and sites, etc., normally is done by Archaeological Survey of India under that Culture Ministry. But however, the natural heritage component part, natural wonders, hills and Himalayas and Kanchenjunga, all this type of things handled by. So there is a clear demarcation based on this one. This is in continuation of the 1972 UN Convention and on the, you can say, heritage. There itself, they started with nature and culture type of thing. That's understood, that one. But what happened now, if you are thinking of this, because this is related to folklore, we can bring in folklore into the picture. Folklore is part of the today, tomorrow happens to be international or world folklore day. If we make that one, there's a minute time after the 1972, when this heritage was introduced in the world scenario, over years, the nature aspect has been slightly discarded. I not only discarded, it has got less prominent. So the nature culture versus the competition has slightly gone beyond a thing. And that was reflected in my working with the Ministry of Environment, Forest, a scientist. That is my parent department, National Museum of Natural History, as well as its various regional museums in South India, Mysore, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, all this. Then later, I happened to work in two institutions under Ministry of Culture. They're only what I'm telling, that National Museum Institute. And for your information, the latest information from the government of India, the first university, official university for heritage is being declared by an institution which was earlier called National Museum Institute. I happen to be the registrar of the National Museum Institute. Now it is being redesignated by the Ministry of Culture as the first heritage university under the government. So that is the achievement. The heritage is given a prominent, and a university has come for the first time. And anyway, that's the thing. But still, during my experience, what I found, because I was the only scientist working in Ministry of Culture many years, and that one, there was a slightly conflict. Same one, what if nature, culture versus, because of this demarcation of ministries, etc. Because when you the main convention, UN convention, that is the 2003 convention on the safeguarding of the intangible cultural heritage, which is the one which you mentioned about the importance of art forms, oral heritage, folklore type of thing. That is the landmark in the world. And that also has come because of the continuous effort. The earlier 72 convention, UN convention, which distinguished the heritage into culture and nature, was basically a materialistic oriented colonial Western influence on UN. But over years, they told, no, heritage is not to be restricted into these tangible architectural things only. It is not correct. And the Asian concept, what we can say, Asian concept means the China, Korea, Japan, in India. The knowledge in the, we can say, kept over years during the culture civilizations is also important part of heritage. So UNESCO over years recognized, and from our field, from the museum point of view, International Council of Museum, myself, along with other things, other people like Amareshwar Gala, and we fought for bringing this into museum also. So you can imagine a landmark decision in the Seoul Conference in 2002, and later in Vienna Conference, they changed the definition of museum as an institution which collect, conserve, document collections, which are, earlier it was collection means only tangible elements. Now it's a collection of tangible and intangible. So what I can say, policy-wise, portion-wise, over years, the Asian concept was able to influence. But that is one side, it is okay. But again, when we come to the designation or representative list of intangible cultural heritage, that is the Kodiyattam, all this, the Kodiyattam, Vedic Chandi, that is the one World Heritage we can say, again, divided into normally the tangible, the fort monuments, and the intangible, that we call it under the umbrella of the intangible cultural heritage. There, you will see some type of discrepancy. That's why my point is that one, because a person who worked in both nature and culture, an Indian context and the Asian context, where the nature and culture cannot be distinguished, like the European one, where nature and culture are entirely different things, and the Indian concept is slightly. So there must be a type of a synchronized activity, which sometimes is missing in policy levels. That I will find, because out of the 13 forms declared from the, we can say, UNESCO has declared World Heritage forms, you can find hardly one element related to nature. Because again, and again, there is a contribution from our side. I told you, the intangible cultural heritage as defined by UNESCO, we have shifted to, it is not correct to call it intangible culture. It is actually intangible heritage, which has got two component parts. One is the intangible cultural heritage, and another is representing the intangible natural heritage. And we have divided the domains as suggested by UNESCO into 5 domains. The first 3 domains, the oral traditions and expressions, the performing arts, and the social, ritualistic and festive events. The 3 component part were individualistic, or you can say art-oriented activities are there into intangible cultural heritage. And the fourth and fifth, fourth is the knowledge, traditional knowledge related to nature. And the fifth is the traditional craftsmanship. The fourth and fifth, we can say there is input from the nature and the science. So that we have divided into intangible natural heritage. And for the information, the first book on intangible natural heritage, we have contributed from Indian side. I have contributed a chapter which was published in 2000, I think 5 or 6 on that one. That is based on a Kerala example. So what I can say, the contribution of our means, the first phase is that my contribution, that one, National Museum of Natural History in the world, is to bring into the museum contest the intangible aspects into that is one thing. And the second one, based on, I told you, the nature and culture. So we have been fighting to bring it both and giving due credit to nature, which is actually, because the nodal agency for intangible cultural heritage sponsorship from India happens to be the Ministry of Culture, but there is not much thrust on the natural heritage component part, which we need to work together. So lacuna is that from my side. So this, how we are going to correct, you can say, why, okay, somebody, so for the last 15 years, the National Museum of Natural History, Delhi, with centers all over India, region centers, where I happened to be the director some years back, we tried from starting it from the umbrella of Government of India to start this intangible natural heritage we proposed. And we started the National Intangible Heritage Festivals all over India. Started with Kaladi, then Calicut, Jodhpur, Jaisalmer on the west, Shillong, and Bhubaneswar, and Delhi. And all over India, over years we developed and brought the concept into that. And one angle in this one, contribution again, to bring this lopsided approach. I mean that giving due credit to nature along with the culture, as envisaged in the original 1972 Act, we have presented in 2002 the Indian model on intangible heritage based on a tremendous contribution of intangible natural heritage, the knowledge system, traditional knowledge system of a tribal community. We call it the Kani tribes from Kerala. You can imagine this as a landmark contribution, which many people in Kerala or outside Kerala are not aware. We happen to bring it into world picture. The Indian model on intangible heritage is the access and beneficiary concept brought by the Kani tribes. I will explain because that is important, because that is very much the Convention on Biodiversity, CBD we call it, Convention by Biodiversity, which is in 2011. This model, what we call Kani model, preceded. And not only that one, let us say that the Nagoya Protocol of the access and benefit sharing, the originally, we can say the Kani tribes from Kerala, which has been projected as the Indian model on intangible heritage in the Shanghai Conference in 2002. Can you imagine? Early pioneer, that has been recognized as a classic example for Nagoya Protocol, access and benefit sharing. So how many people in India? And this is not, what I'm telling you, this is not recognized as a contribution by the India government while considering in the candidature file. We have been projecting Kodiyattam, we have been projecting Vedichanti, we have been projecting Mudiyettu, and so many things. But the tremendous contribution, that is only because of the some type of, I told you, the division of the nomination candidature file happens to be from the Ministry of Culture. So what that is one aspect. Now we'll come back to the the youth, role of youth. We have started, I told you.
Sure, sir.
Unless
I think that's very
brought to the youth or the syllabus of our curriculum, this will be going on. It is not entering into our children and youth, etc. So we can say, as he has mentioned, the first official university center exclusively on intangible heritage has been established, which is called the Center for Intangible Studies in Kaladia University. And this is actually fifth year, 27 August 2016, we launched that. At that time, our National Museum of Natural History was the pioneer which helped, facilitated that one. Then we have now completed the first batch of certificate course of that one. There during this one thing, the role of youth, the 2018 flood, which is a landmark in Kerala, which has affected all the life of that one. It has thrown open the role of youth. A Kerala Heritage Rescue Initiative, an international initiative of the ICOMOS, International Council of Museums, and ICROM, the international agency concerned with conservation, we were able to bring into the Kerala along with the Muslim Heritage Project, and the Kaladia University Center was coordinating the role of youth as a volunteer. Because the documenting the, you can say, damages done to the heritage sites, both tangible and that one, can be done only by youth who can go and have the knowledge of the digital technology. So we are utilizing it. That is the first crisis point in which youth has come to the rescue, and that has been projected in the ICROM international website. That one. And now we are entering into one or two other domains. So it is not telling that intangible heritage is ornamental things applicable to that. No, it has got relation to sustainable development. In fact, our center has got two international UNESCO projects. One is on sustainable development, that is on Pokali indigenous saline resistant. That it is what we can say. Many people ask that, oh, this Kodiyattam and this Vedichanti, what is the fun? What is the people who are getting the benefit? Common man. It is not. That is the lack of understanding the intangible relation with sustainable development, youth, etc. And we have been working. We have got project of UNESCO from the, I told you about the Pokali sustainable agriculture, which is found very relevant to the coastal ecosystem of Kerala, which has been inundated with sea erosion, etc. And the Kalaripayattu recently, 2 years back, we got the indigenous marshes. So what I'm telling you that, and now we are entering into two more certificate courses based on the Chennamangalam revival of the traditional craftsmanship of Chennamangalam. We have coined an international terminology called resilient heritage, called Resitage. That is the contribution to the success of the intangible test center based on the case study. It is not the teaching here is theoretical, I say, because it's online, etc. But that is based on the classic case studies from the local. So think globally, act locally. That terminology we are doing, and it's again brought another center, the Maharajas College, Kerala, the first autonomous college in Kerala. They have been sponsoring online oriented intangible and tourism. I am coordinating that project also. We have just completed.
Very good.
These are the one. I think I am completing that around 15-17 minutes. I hope that will be okay for the organizers. Yeah, I will stop it now.
No, but I think it's.
Hello. I think some audio problem is there.
I wish to and youth. So if you look at the core theme of Nila International Folklore Film Festival, we have been emphasizing on that the youth should be using the platforms which are comfortable with them. It can be photography, videography, or anything, and going back and tracing and understanding the culture. So you brought a very valid point that the technology and the youth bringing and connecting. I have a question to you, sir. The question is actually in Kerala, we have multiple academies, like we have Sangeetnad Academy, we have Folklore Academy, we have Kerala Kalamandalam, we have Sahitya Academy, and we have Chalachitra Academy, and there are so many academies divide the whole sphere of the culture. Like some will handle like the literature, some will handle the theater, and some will handle folklore. So, do you really see that there should be a proper coordination, or some sort of a collaboration between all these cultural institutions to rope them into the common thread? And as you rightly mentioned, the university center which you chair, you had, can play a major role in coordinating and bringing the major element of intangible heritage. That's I wish to know from your end, sir.
This has been because Kerala is very peculiar in that we have got two ministries dealing with culture-related things. One is a classic example of cultural affairs ministry. It has got these academies and all this one. And there is another strong department of museum, archaeology, archives type of things. Both are different with two ministries. Sometimes it happened now. Even tourism is part of that also. Recently, Dr. Venu was there when has taken charge of at least the cultural, not cultural affairs directly. We can say tourism on all these one. It is very strange that over years, Kerala is the only state in India having zoo attached to a museum project. It has got advantage as well as for a natural history museum like me, a complex of museum, natural history museum, zoo, aquarium, all these are holistic. But normally, archaeology is hijacked by culture is hijacked by archaeology, etc. And we lose. One classic example is that when the Silent Valley campaign, the Silent Valley came, the apex, the iconic lantern monkey. There was a world conference of lantern monkey in India. The proposal was submitted to Kerala and to some other state where they have got collections of land-tailed monkey. I know this person because I was part of this one. But Kerala government having the maximum number of we can say land-tailed monkeys in Kerala and the Western Ghats, etc., did not even respond. And finally, it was given to Chennai, Anna, the zoological garden. That is only because I come to know that a Sanskrit scholar was the director of the zoo there. How it happened? Because it is, I cannot say it happened that a Sanskrit scholar, they promotion, etc. He became the director of the combined department of zoo and museum and all these ones. So we lost out a chance. And anyway, these are it happens at political. So ideally, a heritage department combining all these will be, all the academies and all these one will be ideal condition, which normally, even I told you, Delhi also, national level, it is not. But I am suggesting that one, if you want to bring all this one into UNESCO-oriented international, Kerala has got advantage of intangible heritage, having 3 out of 13 from India. If you want to continue with this one, after the first, second, and third, we are lagging behind. All the things, other things. That is also natural for a democratic system. We need to restructure the department into a type of a broader. That is my answer to that.
Exactly, sir. I think the time which we allocated for this talk is very short. I think considering the importance of this topic and the kind of initiatives you have taken with the leadership of or the support of the university. And there are many areas definitely we want to discuss it. Sir, we'll be having a detailed discussion later, a detailed online meetup, if possible, near soon with you and understanding. And we wish to extend whatever the possible with Wiley and the team working under Wiley could involve in it, learn from the collective leadership of collective activities. And one more important aspect is actually tomorrow is the World Folklore Day. Connecting to that, I think starting a series of discussions and bringing a common intellectual discourse among the experts in culture and the various spaces of culture into common pool, and bringing up, as you rightly mentioned, a collective common sense on among the intangible heritage, and then bringing sort of a consensus between departments and intellectuals, researchers. And as you rightly mentioned, it's very important bringing those aspects into the youth, especially institutions like Wiley or other. There are more than 500 active folk songs groups across Kerala, from Trivandrum to Kasaragod. I think connecting all of them and bringing youth into this perspective, so at least 50 can think about it and act on it, will be a large impact on it actually. So definitely with a very pleasure, and we'll be definitely coming back to you, requesting your time for a detailed discussion. And we just want to kickstart the event with a lighter note. And because we are going to 7:30, we are going to start streaming the Tuilanuthu Patu by a particular community from the banks of River Nila. Pana communities are spread across entire Kerala, but here in the Bharatapuzha region, they called Devanka and they called Tiruvarangans, and they got the blessings to awake the god. And they, during the normal seasons, they sing the songs which are related to awaking the god. But during Onam season, they have very structured songs which they walk across the village in the night and then go and sing and pray and they come back. So it's actually a ritual, and unfortunately, there are not many left in the village who can take it forward actually. So there is a thread similar to the Tuilanuthu Patu. There are many art forms which are getting totally extinct or getting vanishing from our villages. So I think there should be a collective responsibility, like people like Wiley and all the institutions, academies should work together and make it available, document it, and bring a platform. So with this note, thank you so much, sir, once again for joining in this festive time. And you are opened up a very large space, and we request you to have a time available to us, in the near future, to have a detailed discussion and bringing the audience close to that. And over to you, sir. Thank you so much for the conclusion note.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much, sir. And have a nice evening. And happy Onam to you and your family. And this is just the beginning. Sorry, we haven't really calculated time for it actually. So we'll be having a detailed discussion in the near future. So once again, thank you so much, sir.